Hello. This will be a new short series where I'll be going over every character and teach you how and when to use the characters in raids. The first character we'll be going over is Saitama. Now first I'll have to explain a few terms that I like to use during raids, them being the Walking Force, Airborne, Grounded Speedster, Support, and iframes characters. Saitama fits into the categories the Walking Force and Support. Saitama is mainly used for 1v1s, so although you can realistically use them to handle 5v1s, it's best to find singular players and take them out one by one. Freeze frame. Now that person, all the way in the back, over there, that's a good target. He's completely alone with no one next to him. And he's next to a wall as well, which Saitama can deal insane damage with an inescapable wall combo. Or, if we skip ahead a bit, let's not ignore that. Anyway, over at middle, I can help my teammate in his 1v1 as well to turn it to a 2v1. Another thing about Saitama is his fear factor. Most Genos players tend to target Saitama less because of death counter, which also makes them use their ultimate less. It is realistically possible to take on multiple people at once when using Saitama, but I don't really recommend using that because again, he literally has 0 iframes and he has a very low mobility. Literally the only mobility he has is dashes. There is not a singular move that Saitama has in his base form that moves him. Not a single one. There's only one move in the base form that gives you iframes, which is the consecutive punch finisher. But besides that, you basically have to use ultimate to get just a little bit of weak iframes, and then use a move to get infinite iframes. Now, something that for some reason a lot of people don't know about is that you can block the stun that Serious Punch and Table Flip give. The only difference Serious Punch and Table Flip actually have when they still knock you back is that for some reason Serious Punch eats up your dashes, but Table Flip doesn't. So you just need to run out of Serious Punch instead of trying to dash or walk out of it. It's not going to work since you don't have enough dashes to get out of there, and running is actually enough to just get out of there. The only notable damage difference between those two is that they work in completely different ways. The table flip deals more damage the closer you are to the core, which means that this dummy right here will take the most amount of damage, which is an insta kill, and this dummy over here will take the least amount of damage. Serious Punch, on the other hand, is distance based. So this dummy, of course, will take the most amount of damage as he also gets hit with the shockwave, and this one will take the least amount of damage, no matter if it is the only player there or there are a lot of players there. Now, the ideal situation for Saitama is when you are either outnumbering them or you heavily outskill them. If you do either of these things, you can start using Saitama and it will be prime. Now, a situation where you absolutely do not want to be using Saitama in is when you're fighting a lot of airborne characters, such as Genos, Tatsumaki, Child Emperor, characters that go into the air a lot, even Suryu. A lot of people in raids see Saitama as an ultimate carried character, but this is not how you're supposed to see Saitama. I feel like if you see Saitama as an ultimate carried character, you're just never going to be able to use the base moves correctly. And that's like 95% of your time in 4 whole moves. Now, one thing that is almost unique to Saitama is that he has no second player damage. This basically means that if a Saitama hits a player into another player, it doesn't actually hurt them. Which, yes, this includes normal punch and its finisher. If you happen to get into a situation where you're fighting multiple people and you're Saitama, the way that you want to play it is basically just hit and run. And do not use consecutive punches unless everyone is like far away. The only time you should use consecutive punches when everybody is near you is when you have a guaranteed finisher, because then you get a lot of infinite iframes. What you can also do as Saitama, very easily, is hit players into each other so that they hit each other. If you do this enough, and you're lucky enough, they might just start targeting each other. And this is something that has actually happened to me before, so I can say with my own words that this does actually work if you try hard enough. However, you need to put so much effort into this that honestly, it's not worth it unless you're in like a 5v1 or something constantly and you don't want to play any other character besides Saitama. Note that you need to be very careful about your health with Saitama. This is because of a unique nerf that Saitama Ultimate has, which is when you pop Ultimate, normally you go back to full health. With Saitama, this does not happen, and you stop healing as well. So when you pop ult, make sure you're always full health, unless you're doing something like a death counter trap or something, or you're gonna serious punch middle so you get back to full health. Now, obviously, an easy way to get better at Saitama is to get into comp, start fighting in friendly clan wars and stuff like that. Just get your own clan. That's how you get good at using Saitama. This also applies to standard Garo and Metal Path. Now, you have to be aware that in comp, you have a completely different playstyle than you should have in raids. In raids, you need to focus on hitting and then getting the hell out of there, which is more defensive. But in comp, you need to focus on a little bit of defensive and a lot of offensive to put pressure on your opponent. I feel like that's all you really need to know for Saitama. If you want to get a trainer, there are a lot of trainers in the branches for TSBCC, such as TSB-ER, TSB-AS, stuff like that, for your region. Well, that wraps up the video. Peace.